It is 9:59 a.m. And that's the light source outside of my office. That's impossible light appearing on the ground while blinds are opening and closing, moving about. That's engineered light. That's not sunlight. You also know that this is the placement of engineered light that's appearing underneath the table. And the light source is outside of my office window. It is not above the window at Starbucks at Montclair and Ramona. And you also know that because the entity is group stalking by helicopter with simultaneity to my documenting speaker companies that's engaged in not only the corrupt misuse of a business for purposes of criminally facilitating the state's pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, which is state surveillance that speaker companies is engaging in. They're also engaging in federal stalking in violation of Title 18, 22618 subsections 1 and 2. And that is how you have what is occurring with simultaneity to my publishing the images of the criminal conduct occurring on the communication device that I use for my job in the specific environment, with simultaneity to my documenting the people of the state that are engaged in the state system via being employees of a third-party company, engaging in group stalking on the venue of the internet on behalf of that state that arrived in a helicopter, communicating a threat to my life. And that is vicariously communicated by Don Noggle, who's going to federal prison, engaging in criminal monitoring by being an employee of a third-party company, providing systematic engagement, systematic facilitation. You go to federal prison for that. In addition to his criminal conduct documented on the venue of the internet, occurring in the workplace in concert with the state that comes to physically communicate that threat, which you saw in the images of helicopter. And the target individual is subject to that surrounding system while they are enforcing their rights. You go to federal prison for that. All right. It is currently 10:01 a.m. The entity is maintaining its light source over the Starbucks and Montclair on April 24, 2022 at the same exact time while I'm seated at the same position for a series of hours. And I remain there until after 1 o'clock when I get on Route 61 and I go eastbound back toward Ontario. There is no time where the sun is going to remain over the hillside, which you already know is what the entity is doing while it's rising and setting at the same address. And then you have the people of the state that are engaging in the pattern of conduct. How can I help you? Oh, okay, great. Have a good one. That's P.O.C. That's the means it's the same criminal system, but I want to make sure that you understand this is documenting and this is time in federal prison for what is an unfathomable level of criminality by a government. When you are betrayed by your own government, and it is, let me be clear. This is a direct threat to your life, the intent to discard of American citizens, and this has been going on for a very long time. A very long time. There are people, in other words, that are not only sitting up kidnapped somewhere, but they're also dead. They've lost their lives by this same entity. The people of the state engaging in what is having their hands dirty, the blood on their hands, and then covering it up. And this is through the courts. This is through the sheriff's departments that are conducting investigations, that are putting people away in their facilities. And it's not necessarily anything that they are telling you while they're keeping you under surveillance, not only in relevant position groups stalking you, which is demonic. It's also keeping you under surveillance online on your communication devices in concert with these big tech companies such as Google, Amazon Prime, all these devices that you're buying from them, these Ring cameras. The people of the state are group stalking. And let me be clear, LAPD is watching me go in and out of my apartment while the people of the state are keeping cameras in their windows. That's the reality of what they're doing. And I'm going to prosecute them for that. This is surveillance that's underway on the property. There is no sun that's going to be outside of the Starbucks located at the intersection of Ramona and Hope Boulevard in Montclair, California. It's not occurring. I'm sitting there. That's not the natural environment. The direction that I'm facing, the location that I'm at, the duration of time that I'm there, and then the entity is keeping the light source here, not the sun that will be present ever, rising and setting at the same address. Remember, the entity puts it right through the window of the same apartment in the evening, which is what you saw, in addition to what is prosecuting Starbucks, the third-party facilitating venue, and the entirety of the state, including Don Noggle, who are on the internet engaging in the same criminal system, obstruction of justice. Oh, what you don't want to do is ever engage in the pattern of conduct, and you certainly don't want to obstruct the ability to conduct a federal investigation. That's what you don't ever want to be caught doing, and that's exactly what you're doing when you're monitoring on the venue of the internet, engaging in this demonic ambush, calling and texting at the same time, operation of a communication device in the specific environment for purposes of stopping the ability to upload video, which is saving your life when you're documenting the government that's stalking you. There is no sun that's going to be present at any time over the courthouse at Rancho Cucamonga at 10:30 in the morning, at 9:42 in the morning. It's 9:59 in the morning, okay? This is already documented. There is no sun that's over 8303 Haven Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga. That's a specific environment. That is the identification not only of demons that are filling a venue. That venue is legally relevant. It's a courthouse where these demon-possessed police officers, these demon-possessed sheriff's departments, and the demon-possessed people of the state are gathered to engage in the same exact criminal system, including on the venue of the internet, exercising fictitious authority, creating information, creating what are hearings, creating whatever narrative, because they're abusing their positions as the law, as the court, and as the sheriff. This is all angles of that system that's being exposed. I will again remind you about what was documented about the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court engaging in multiple kidnappings while they were engaged in state surveillance and federal stalking on the venue of the internet, seeking to obstruct justice, knowing everything that was documented, and in every way, also through the civil courts, where the light source is also captured at 12:47 in the afternoon. You know the entity is keeping the light source right here over me, aiming engineered light underneath a doorway, underneath a structure, as though that would ever be sunlight at 12:47 in the afternoon, in alignment to my apartment outside of my living room window at 12:47 in the afternoon. Never going to be the sun that's over the San Bernardino Superior Court at Arrow and 3rd Street in San Bernardino. But they're also stalking in a helicopter. That's also how you know that it's a specific environment. And that is the venue that engaged in what is the evasion of service of process. And Thomas Garza, to this day, continues to be documented, and he's going to federal prison for that. That's a crime. It's not merely a civil violation. The state's threatening your life, keeping you under surveillance, and as you saw today, engaging in what is an ongoing threat to your life, kidnapping you, defaming you, drugging your body, trying to kidnap you in facilities where they're monitoring you. Okay? This is an all-out attack on your life and your existence. Everything about you. And literally under the control of a government, a corrupt one that's making up the information, that's in a position of power to do so. No one's listening to the voiceless targeted individual. That's why you go to federal prison. That's why the level of intolerance is so high. Okay? It is currently 10:06 a.m. I will upload the video of what is the light source over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 9:40. I think it's approximately 9:42 in the morning. That's the entities keeping the light source here. While LAPD is having a field day with helicopter activity, monitoring and hostile, because I'm documenting the demons of speaker companies who are going to federal prison. The light source is here. It's not over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. It's also not going to be visible at 9:59 a.m. through the window of Starbucks that's facing Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California, also remaining there. That's speaking to the criminal conduct that United Transportation is engaging in. AAA, license plate 72574J2, and he's going to federal prison, monitoring with LAPD, all right, at the crime scene under the light source. It is currently, again, 10:07 a.m., and this is P.O.C.